Right now, someone in your life is reading you. Not your words. They're reading your pauses, your need to explain, your automatic yes. They see the collar around your neck, the one made of kindness, and they know exactly how to pull it. Most people will never see this, but once you learn what I'm about to show you, you'll never be readable again. You think you're being good. They think you're being weak. And they're planning their next move with surgical intent. Every smile you force, every boundary you don't set, it's intelligence they're gathering. But here's what Machiavelli discovered but never published. The moment you see the collar, you can slip it. The moment you understand the game, you become unplayable. But first, you need to understand why kindness became a weapon against you. The first tactic is already happening, right now. It's called the guilt mirror. They don't attack you, they reflect you. Watch, when you help once, they mirror back obligation. When you show kindness, they reflect back expectation. But here's the forbidden truth most people can't handle. They're not using your kindness. They're using your need to be seen as kind. Think about the last time someone made you feel guilty. Did they say you were mean? No. They said you weren't being yourself. You've changed. You're different. Translation: you're not as useful. This linguistic programming runs deep, deeper than you think. Jung called it the persona, the mask you wear. But what he didn't say? Some people specialize in tightening masks until they become collars. That feeling in your stomach? That's recognition. Part of you always knew this. The average person ignores that feeling, stays comfortable, stays collared. But you're not average. You're still here, still watching. That means you're ready for what comes next. Hold that thought, because what comes next changes everything. The second tactic cuts to the bone. It's called the kindness trap. Listen to their exact words. You're so good at this. I can always count on you. No one understands like you do. These aren't compliments, they're contracts. Invisible contracts you never signed but somehow owe. Here's where it gets dark. They're not just using your kindness, they're farming it. Like emotional vampires, they've learned to feed on your need to be needed. Every praise about your giving nature is another seed planted. Every time you harvest their approval by helping, the roots grow deeper. Until one day, saying no feels like ripping out part of your identity. But there's something they don't want you to know. Something that would end their game instantly. You're not broken for being kind. You were strategically conditioned. Think about it. Who taught you that disappointing others was worse than betraying yourself? Who benefited from you believing that boundaries equal selfishness? This isn't your failing. It's their engineering. And engineering can be reverse engineered. The average person would stop watching now. Too uncomfortable, too real. But you're different. You're ready to see how deep this goes. Comment "watching" if someone specific just came to mind. Someone who's been farming your kindness. Don't name them. Just know that by the end of this video, they'll have no power left. If this feels dangerous, good. Power should feel dangerous. You're not becoming evil. You're becoming effective. They fear your effectiveness because they profit from your weakness. The third tactic is where transformation begins. It's called strategic coldness, not cruelty, calculation. They expect warm because warm is predictable, controllable, readable, but cold. Cold is psychological quicksand. The more they struggle to read you, the deeper they sink. But first, understand this. Coldness isn't about temperature. It's about timing. Tomorrow, when someone fishes for favors, count 3 full seconds before responding. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Then speak. Lower than usual. Slower than comfortable. Watch their face during those 3 seconds. That micro-expression, that's their strategy crumbling. Turn your body 15 degrees away while maintaining eye contact. Smile with your mouth, never your eyes. Touch your jaw when they make requests. They'll think you know something. These aren't just movements. They're declarations of independence. You're becoming a living riddle they can't solve. The weak ones need warmth. You're learning to weaponize winter. But this is just the beginning. Remember this feeling. You'll need it for tactic number 4. Before I reveal the fourth tactic, notice who's already panicking about your changes. Notice who says, "You're not yourself lately," when you take 8 hours to reply to their text. Notice who creates emergencies when you're unavailable. These aren't friends. They're farmers watching their crop learn to uproot itself. If you felt your stomach drop just now, if you're already seeing conversations differently, hit subscribe. Because what's coming next will make this feel like child's play. Type "done" in the comments if you're finished being everyone's emotional supply. Let's see who's really ready to transform. The fourth tactic separates those who want power from those who become it. It's called the withdrawal gambit. You've been dealing emotional availability like a drug. Always there, always understanding, always supplying. Time to create scarcity. Time to become the void. But this isn't about punishment. It's about power dynamics that Nietzsche called the will to power, but couldn't fully explain. Start with strategic ghosting, not childish disappearing, calculated absence. Take hours to respond to non-emergencies, days for casual requests. When they ask where you've been, here's your complete answer. Busy. No elaboration, no justification. Let them fill your silence with their projections. "Can't make it" is a complete sentence. "That won't work for me" needs no explanation. No is not the beginning of a negotiation. Every word after no is weakness. Every explanation is an invitation to argue. You're not building walls. You're becoming the empty throne. Present but unreachable. Visible but untouchable. Watch what happens next. This is where most people break. But not you. Not anymore. The casual users of your kindness will simply disappear. Good. They were customers, not companions. But the real manipulators? They'll escalate, double text, triple text, create crises. Suddenly remember your birthday. Send, "Are you mad at me?" messages. This isn't concern, it's control attempting to reassert itself. That discomfort you feel, that's not guilt. That's your conditioning fighting your evolution. The old you would explain, would soothe, would return to being available. The new you observe their panic like a scientist watching an experiment. Their desperation reveals their dependence. Their anger reveals their entitlement. Fair warning, your relationships will change after this. The weak ones won't survive. And that's exactly the point. You're becoming what they fear. Someone they can't predict, can't guilt, can't use. Comment "untouchable" if you're ready to practice this tomorrow. But know this. Once you start, there's no returning to readable. The real question isn't why you're withdrawing. It's who benefits from you staying available. But withdrawal is only half the equation. What comes next will feel like crossing a line most people never even approach. The fifth and final tactic will kill the person you used to be. It's called emotional assassination. Not of them, of their power over you. You're about to learn what Jung discovered in his black books, but never dared publish. Once you know this, every interaction becomes a choice rather than a reaction. This is where most people stop watching. They're not ready to become this. Are you different? Let's find out. When they deploy guilt, watch it like theater. Interesting performance. When they manifest disappointment, study it like art. Fascinating technique. When they claim injury from your boundaries, observe like an anthropologist. Predictable response pattern. You're not becoming heartless. You're becoming surgical. Their emotions are their responsibility. Your boundaries are your fortress. They've spent years confusing these territories, making you the keeper of their feelings while they ignored yours. That contract expires now. Here's what's actually happening. Their emotional reactions to your boundaries are weapons. Tears aren't sadness, they're strategy. Anger isn't hurt, it's entitlement exposed. Disappointment isn't pain, it's manipulation failing. Once you see emotions as tactics, you become immune to their deployment. But emotional assassination goes deeper than observation. Kill your automatic response to their emotional terrorism. Yes, feel your feelings. Later, alone, where they can't be weaponized against you. In the moment, you're stone. You're the psychological void they project their desperation onto. You're the mirror that shows them their own manipulation. This is the part where your programming screams, where everything they taught you about being good rebels against becoming powerful. That resistance, that's not conscience, that's conditioning, and it's time to execute it. They called you difficult because you stopped being convenient. They said you've changed because you stopped being predictable. They claim you're cold because you stopped being their emotional heating system. These aren't observations, they're obituaries for who you used to be. Comment your age if you wish you'd learned this sooner. Let's see how many years were stolen by readable kindness. That feeling in your chest right now, that's your old self dying. If you want to complete this transformation, subscribe now, because next week, I'm revealing what happens when they realize cold isn't working anymore. You're crossing a line. After this, you'll see the strings, feel their attempts, and smile, knowing they can't touch what they can't read. Now here's what Machiavelli knew but feared to write. Once you master these 5 tactics, you become something different. Not just unreadable, uncontrollable. Not just cold, untouchable. You stop being a character in their story and start being the author of your own. But power has a price, and that price is innocence. Tomorrow, every conversation will feel different. You'll see the guilt mirrors being held up, hear the kindness traps being set, feel the emotional weapons being deployed. And instead of responding how you were programmed to, you'll do something they never expected. Nothing. Your silence will have more power than their words. Your absence will create more impact than their presence. Your boundaries will stand stronger than their needs. You're not becoming mean. You're becoming meaningful. Every word, every action, every moment of availability becomes a choice rather than a compulsion. Some nights you'll question if you've gone too far. If you've become what you once feared. You haven't. You've become what they feared. Someone who can't be controlled through kindness. Someone who doesn't wear collars, no matter how pretty they're decorated. They'll test your new boundaries. Create emergencies that would have sent the old you running. Deploy tears that would have opened your wallet and calendar. Use words that would have unlocked your availability. But those keys don't work anymore. You changed the locks. Hell, you changed the whole door. The transformation is complete when their attempts become amusing rather than effective. When you can watch them pull strings attached to nothing. When their emotional performances get no applause. You haven't lost empathy. You've gained clarity. You see the show. You just don't buy tickets anymore. But here's the darkest truth. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every kindness seems strategic. Every emotion feels performed. Every connection requires verification. This is the cost of wisdom, eternal vigilance. The price of power, permanent awareness. You wanted to stop being used. But what you've become is something more. You've become someone who makes others question their own games. Your mere presence shifts dynamics. Your strategic silence speaks louder than their rehearsed speeches. You don't play games, you end them by refusing to pick up the controller. The collar is off. But more importantly, you now see all the other collars. On everyone. Everywhere. The whole world becomes visible as a massive leash and collar system. And you're the one who cut the leather, who melted the metal, who walks among the collared as something they recognize but can't name. Comment "I'm becoming cold" if you're ready to never wear anyone's collar again. Show me who's completing this transformation. This knowledge came with a warning. You can't go back. The person who clicked on this video believed kindness without boundaries was virtue. You now know it's voluntary slavery. The old you would feel guilty about that statement. The new you just nods. Because truth doesn't need to be kind. It needs to be true. You've been initiated into an ancient understanding. The kind ones don't finish last because kindness is wrong. They finish last because they're readable, predictable, available, controllable. You've chosen to become none of these things. You've chosen to become what they fear most, unnecessary to approach without respect. Every guru sells love and light, but shadows have power they don't want you to discover. Because once you befriend your darkness, once you realize coldness is just boundaries with conviction, once you understand withdrawal is just self-respect with distance, You become unmarketable, uncontrollable, unfarmable. Next week, I'm revealing something even darker. What happens when they realize you've transformed? When guilt doesn't work? When emotional terrorism fails? When they have to face someone they can no longer use? Jung discovered this in his red book, but encoded it in symbolism. I'm going to decode it, and you're going to become something even they didn't see coming. The game was always rigged. You were just playing with house rules. Now you've flipped the board, scattered their pieces, walked away from a game they needed you to keep playing. But here's the secret. There's another game, one where former prey becomes something else entirely. Something that doesn't just defend, something that dominates. You're not the same person who started this video. That person wore a collar made of kindness, decorated with guilt, tightened by others' needs. That person is gone. What remains is someone they should approach with caution, or not at all. The collar is off, the leash is cut, the game is over, and you're just getting started. Welcome to the other side of kindness. Welcome to strategic living. Welcome to being untouchable. Comment ghost if there's someone you're about to strategically disappear on. They won't see it coming, but more importantly, they won't see you going.